We've got a couple more folks signing in. As soon as they get in, we'll get started. We're just 2 or 3 minutes late. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. September 17th, 2022 county meeting. I appreciate everybody being here. Good crowd, not too crowded, but plenty here. So hope you enjoy the meeting. I tell some people when they start to come, I said, I hope you're not hope boredom doesn't bother you too much, because sometimes you can get bored here, but not as much as you used to. So we'll call a meeting to order. An invocation. I'm going to ask David Dyer, Fire Chief, if he'd lead us in invocation.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the many blessings that you give us each and every day. Thank you for the blessing of being able to live in such a wonderful community. Thank you, Lord, for all of our leadership and all the people who make all that happen. Lord, we ask that you be with us tonight as we come together and conduct the county meeting. We ask that you please lead us, guide us, and show us our direction where we need to go, all for your will. Lord, as always, please forgive us for the times that we failed. In Jesus Christ's holy name I pray.
Amen. Thank you. And if you would stand, Bill Walker will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Veterans, run your hands salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You should have a copy of the August 18th, 2022 county meeting. Those minutes are hereby approved. And also the September the 8th, 2022 called meeting. You should have a copy of that, and those minutes are also hereby approved as presented. Item number 1 is a proclamation of Constitution Week as September the 17th, 23rd through the 23rd, 2022. We start over. September the 17th through the 23rd, with Constitution Day being September the 17th. On this date in 1787, U.S. Constitution Convention signed the Constitution of the United States of America. With this proclamation, we're giving official recognition to the document and the anniversary of its signing. I ask the citizens of Union County to affirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through the guardians of our liberty. Evelyn Lamar from the Daughters of the American Revolution came by my office on September the 1st for the signing of the proclamation. Item number 2, I hereby adopt a moratorium on cryptocurrency mining sites that is effective on September the 15th, 2022, which is today at 7 p.m., which is 1 hour from now, 55 minutes probably. The duration of this moratorium will be for 180 days. This is the second moratorium we have enacted on these sites, and we will maintain the moratorium until we complete an ordinance that pertains to them specifically. Cryptocurrency mining sites have been started in, as we know, in Murphy, Andrews area, and other places in North Carolina. These sites require a lot of power usage, and they also require, large fan for cooling, which make a lot of noise out in the public. And so there have been a lot of complaints about people being around them, having them close. So we're going to be continue to work on an ordinance for this process. Item number 3, I hereby accept this agreement between Union County and the Georgia Association of Conservation Districts Incorporated in any amount of $95,200. This agreement is effective from October the 1st, 2022 to September 30th, 2024. Union County will be responsible for $47,600, and the GACD will be responsible for the other $47,600 during the term of the agreement. The Natural Resources Conservation Service provides support to landowners to implement conservation practices on eligible land. And that, of course, that organization has been in Union County for many, many years. Item 4, Shana Prather happened to be here? Okay. I hereby appoint Shana Prather to the Board of Directors for the Avita Community Partners. This appointment will be from September the 1st, 2022 through June the 30th, 2024. Avita Partners Mental Health Services to the citizens, provides mental health services to the citizens of Union County, and we appreciate her being willing to take over this position. Item 5, appointment of, well, before I start that, I'm going to ask Mrs. Wasaki and Linda Beaver if they would come up and stand while I read this, and then I'm going to let Linda, I don't think she was real excited about it, I'm going to let her say a few words. I'm not sure a few words is in the vocabulary, but it might be. I'm giving you a hard time. Come on up. I'll just stand right here. Number 5, appointment. I hereby appoint Mary Jane B. Wysocki to the Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Addictive Disease Advisory Council of the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Development Disabilities. How's that for a title? As a representative from Union County. This appointment will be from September the 15th, 2022 through September the 15th, 2025. I'm going to ask Linda to say a few words and thank you for being here, and thanking Ms. Wysocki for being willing to serve. I just have met her this last couple of weeks, and she's a very excited and active lady, and we appreciate her willingness to help.
I've served on this council for, I think, the last 6 years, as long as I was allowed to serve, and I have learned a great deal about mental health issues in our state. And the purpose of this council is for someone to come to the council from each county and bring issues and information about the needs for mental health in the county. And then they come back and meet with the commissioner and tell the commissioner the things we've learned that are happening in other counties, and tell them what we just communicate between the commissioner and the regional advisory council. I have learned a great deal. I've had a great deal of support from the commissioner's office with the things that we've done, and I'm very pleased with the progress that we've been able to make with mental health in Union County. But Georgia is still 48th in the nation, so we have a lot of things that we still need to accomplish.
I just want to thank Linda Beaver for recruiting me to take her place. God bless her. She's done a great job over the past 6 years. I have to tell you that I know a lot about disability services in Florida and somewhat in Virginia, 2 places I work in with people with disabilities. So I'm looking forward, Linda's going to coach me and find out more about what is here in Georgia so we can help the people in our county. God bless. Thank you.
Thank y'all very much. I want to mention Linda again, and all she has done to help this community. She's been working with us and around this as long as she can remember, probably longer than I can remember. And thank you, Linda, for all you've done, and glad you can take a little bit of a break after you teach her what to do. Item number 6 is a contract. I hereby accept this contract between Chestatee-Chattahoochee RC&D Counsel and Union County for the writing a community wildfire defense grant application, which if granted will be used to fund the creation of a community wildfire protection plan for Union County. There's no cost to the contract, and Frank Riley came to me with this project and said, you know, there's no downside of it. If we don't apply for it, the answer is going to be no. But if we do apply for it, we've got a decent chance of getting it. And so the whole purpose is to make the public more aware, even though we were blessed most of the time with a pretty good amount of rain so that we don't have too many dry spells. But the purpose of it is to let people know that are in an area that is either on the national forest or close to an area of woodland that's susceptible to burn, things to look out for around their home. And so this will be a very good project. Item 7, I hereby accept this contract between Winkler and Winkler and Union County for the construction of Union County Fire Station 13 in the amount of $2,437,583 with an effective date of August 26, 2022. Work shall be completed within 360 days following the notice to proceed. And then now, item 8 is that notice to proceed. I hereby accept this notice to commence work on Union County Fire Station 13 for Winkler and Winkler in accordance with the contract dated August 26, 2022 on September the 8th, 2022. The work shall be fully completed on or before October the 3rd, 2023. And I didn't tell Chief Dyer that I was going to do this, but Chief, you want to give us a brief synopsis of, you want to just come on up here, give us a brief synopsis of what this is and what it'll mean to the community, and especially on that end of the county.
Thanks, sir. So Section 13 is something that we've been working on for several years. We sat down back in 2015 and looked at areas that needed a new fire station. This was one of them. We had some land donated to us, and we worked out a pretty good deal on that. And we've been working on plans and finally got around to a bid of construction. This is not only going to be a fire station roof, we're building it to where it can expand, number one, but number two, it can also be able to house an ambulance if it needs to in that area, and also an area for the sheriff's office to work out of. So it's sort of a public safety sort of a building there. And there'll be a rescue truck and a fire truck in that area, and it will serve most of the north side. There's 3 other volunteer stations in that area, but we're going to put career firefighters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in that fire station to be able to respond to fires and other emergencies in that area.
Very good.
Thank you very much, and we are certainly excited about this project. Item number 9 is a lease agreement. I hereby approve this lease agreement between the 9th District Opportunity and Union County for the use of office space located at 185 Webern Street, Suite 8 in the Pat Harrelson Memorial Civic Center in the amount of $230 per month, totaling $2,760 for the term of the lease. The duration of this lease will be from October the 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2023. We have a few more business licenses, fortunately not as many as we had last time when it was, I don't remember, 30 or 40 or maybe even 50, I don't know. You had to sit through a lot of reading the names, but we've only got just a few tonight. While the cutoff for applications for business licenses of short-term rental was August the 16th, 2022, we had a few that turned in all their paperwork before the 16th, but were missing a certain piece or something was not completed correctly on the application. Item 10 through 15 are those few remaining business licenses. They have corrected the mistakes or provided the missing documentation to complete their license application. So the business license we're accepting is 3rd and Lowry LLC at 62 Smoky Creek Cove. Rimpey Rental, parcel number 081040A105. Olivard Rental, parcel number 081040A103. Kruger Rental, parcel number 081040A117. Pilot Cabin Rental LLC, 55 Upper Plot Road. And Stragiska Rental, 258 Litton Lane. And number 16 is speaker. We have a speaker who is qualified to speak tonight. Mrs. Laurie Brothers is requested to speak regarding open records request, laws, freedom of speech, stopping the suppression of freedom of speech in public records. And I'm going to ask the attorney if he'll come on up and let him take it and welcome her up to the podium.
Ms. Brothers, there's your microphone right there.
In regards to the
Is it on?
Press it one time.
In regards to the, just real quick, the multifamily, the short-term rentals, I just request that there be a moratorium on these short-term rentals because the young people who have lived here all their lives are getting married and we're running out of houses for them to actually purchase and rent and live. And so I know somebody personally, she said all the houses were bought up on her street. And where she and her fiance can't find a place to live. So I would just request looking into no more business licenses. And I know there's a moratorium for 6 months because you're going to do ordinances. But I would also really make that request to maybe permanently stop because there's no more houses for the residents. So with that said, the open records. So I started attending meetings here last summer and we could freely speak. We could ask a question and I could speak for 5 minutes. I can now only speak for 3. I hope I get to speak more because I do have something else to say. And so I just feel like I'll request that these rules, only 3 minutes now. You have to have a question that's only been on the topic of what you guys have spoken about. And we only get 1 question now. So I'm going to request that you roll those back. I did an open records request. There's nothing on the books. There's no minutes regarding any of these rules that are limiting us. And to have to go to your office and ask you a question, we're busy. We don't have time to go to your office all the time and just ask a question. So that's what I want to say about that. And then I would like to request that you consider having Union County use paper ballots for the November 8th election. And here's why. The Board of Elections are supposed to have maintained election results, which includes ballot images for 2 years for the Georgia Election Integrity Act of 2021, Chapter 2 and Title 15. We learned yesterday at the Board of Elections meeting that there have been no images of ballots made for the last 3 elections, 2020, 21 runoff, and the May 22. It's my understanding that it's impossible to tabulate election results without the images, and since they just reported that they have no ballot images, based on the authority, giving you, Mr. Commissioner, in OCGA 21-2-366, I would like to respectfully request a remedy for this maladministration situation, which would be to have paper ballots in November. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brothers.
I'm going to turn it back over to the attorney in just a minute for questions. I guess the first, I'm going to just make a few little comments to try to answer her questions. You can come to our county office at any time during the day. You can sit in our office and you can ask all the questions you want, as long as we've got time to do it and you called ahead to make that time scheduled. Or you can get on the telephone and you can call us on the telephone. Or you can get on the internet and you can send us an email. Or you can do a text message to us. Or you can come to my office and see me if I'm there. If I'm not, if you see me at church or see me at the farmer's market like so many other people do, you can sit there and talk to me about the items there. What we find often is that people are not interested in getting information from us as much as they are interested in telling others that they feel like there's a problem, and that's okay if somebody feels like that. There's the newspaper, again, there's the internet, there's Facebook. There are so many ways to contact the public. So I did have, let me make a couple other quick things. Oh, the paper ballots. Union County, as every other county in the state of Georgia, complies with the state law. And there is no provision in the state law that you have paper ballots to vote on. The item that she is speaking of is that the comments were, I'm sorry, that the comments that she had heard were different than what she was expecting to hear on the no time for the office paper ballots, and for the recording it wasn't done. She's talking about those three things. The ballots, every paper ballot that was voted on during the last election, and I'm not even the department, so it's not the place to even bring that information, but I do happen to know that all the paper ballots by state law go directly after the election to the clerk of court's office, and they are sealed, and neither our election board nor you nor anybody else has the right to go in there and get them unless there's a close election according to the specifics that you can go by. So I don't think anybody's trying to keep anything, just because we did not have a record, the second record of the images of the ballots are there, and they are sealed in the reports. And Libby had one thing to say quickly.
We had a meeting yesterday, about a 2-hour meeting, in which I addressed the question that Ms. Brothers had. Yes, we did not record the ballot images. The first year, 2020, when we did the election, the machines were set up and they were set to do what they were supposed to do by the manufacturing of the machines. However, during that election, which was presidential, those ballots were counted 3 times with only a 1 vote discrepancy, counted by hand. The next time, I was positive that we had the ballot images, and we do, for early voting by mail and provisional ballots. Anything that is not done on a machine. But the ones on machines, as you know, you get your ballot, it's paper, and you put it in the scanner. It is recorded, and it matches the tape that leaves the precinct and has to match when it comes into the office where we read the flashcard. And here again, no, I don't have a picture of your ballot that you cast in day of voting, but I have a picture of all the others, and I have a record of your voting, and you got credit for voting. So we were not required by law to make these images. We're not shown. We have one check mark that had to be checked, and we hire a company to do our technology. They have been trying just like the rest of us at the board, and that was not done. However, we do have those ballots. There's not a one that's been destroyed. They are here, they're available, and what we were told when we had so much interest on the ballots in the primary this time, I even went to the judge, contacted the judge, asked him would or could we ask to have them open. And so that, we could put this to rest one time and set up some trust for the people who believe that the Dominion machines are corrupt. And I was told no, unless it would change the election, if it was time worthy, and it was, there was a sign of corruption, that's the only reason that those would be open. It's over, it's done. But in the meeting that we had, first of all, I thank Marcia Lowe's in the meeting yesterday for keeping after me enough to make me realize what she was saying. And because the provisional ballots are digital, all of the paper ballots, there's a digital copy of those, because we had to run those individually through the scanner. So it automatically copied those. The ballots that you do in early voting and they go through the scanners, they don't go through the actual tabulation scanner the night of election. Only the flashcard goes through, which has recorded what has happened in voting. So this time, we came up as a board, we came up unanimous that the next election that we have, after we have batched it, which we have to do for the audit, which is required by the state of Georgia, after we have batched it and we prepared it, then we will have a bipartisan committee. There'll be a Republican and a Democrat at each counting table, the same as what we did in the presidential recount. And we're going to lay this to rest one last time. What you see, if there's no significant difference, we're going to do two races. We're going to do the governor's race, and we're going to do the Senate race. And if there is no significant difference, and I would say significant would be 10, 15, significant. If it was my vote, I'd say it was significant with one. But significant that would change the election is what we're looking for, with no preconceived idea of how it's going to come out, or anybody has a hand in it, other than the parties that are counting. And then we'll see. And once that's over, then we want to see that there's a little bit more belief in the machines. The stop guards and the things that we do to make sure that there is nothing that can change your vote. And once you put it in that scanner, what you read and you checked is what is counted. And we want to prove that to y'all open and above board. And that's the reason we're going to do this extra work. And I promise you, all digital images will be available for those who want to buy a new flash drive and get a copy of them because they're extensive files. But that is something that is open for, open records, and we will have it available to you. All we're trying to do is be as transparent as we can be and work with all of the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much for talking about that and what y'all are doing. It's a great job and we appreciate it very much. At this time, I'm gonna let the attorney come up and we're gonna try to, it's quicker we can be on questions. Better. We got a question to start with?
Let's just wait for the question and answer section.
I'm sorry.
Could I rebut that?
Yeah, let's wait. We're there. Okay. We're there now. Yeah. Okay, after Ms. Brothers spoke, that's the last part of the meeting other than commissioners' comments, and I don't really have any. Better off if I don't make any probably. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a break, and he'll come up and ask for public questions about the agenda items. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. The meeting is officially adjourned, and we're going to start taking questions or comments. Please keep it to the agenda. You know, our strict rules. We would like questions or comments about what's on the agenda. And the reason for that is so everyone can be prepared that's up here to answer your questions and comments. So if anyone has any questions, let's go ahead and start. Brothers?
Okay. So, my question would be that, does the commissioner know that, two things. Ms. Stevens just spoke about digital ballot images. We'll speak about physical ballot.
Please come to the microphone so we can hear you.
So two things. Ms. Stevens spoke about the digital ballot images. I would like to say first about the, I think Mr. Commissioner said, we can't see the ballots because they're sealed in the.
Here, man, let me answer that. We had requests that even I had to go through. When ballots are sealed, okay?
But this is before they were sealed, sir.
Well,
We have
ma'am,
a
any request
we have a-
now, well, hold on now, if I get, you wanna
Wait a
ask a
minute.
question, I get to answer it, right?
I haven't asked my question yet. We have a violation of the open records request to see the ballots on the night of the election. Mrs. Stevens should have let those, let the copies of the ballots, she should have given those to Garland Favorito, who requested them. So because she didn't, and she's in violation of that Open Records Act.
Ma'am, Ms.
we're having to
Stevens,
go
or what she
through-
does is not on this agenda, okay?
I did speak about elections.
Yeah, but you didn't speak about Ms. Stevens doing something wrong. I don't know what Mr. Favorito has requested or not from Ms. Stevens, because this is a commissioners meeting. This is the public meeting. The Board of Elections has their own meeting. They're come prepared, they can answer that kind of stuff.
So what happens is, when someone has a question,
Ms. Brothers, I'm gonna have to ask you, we did let you come up and speak. Every time you make a request, we let you come speak, we let you have time. But this is not, again, this is not a time just to continue on with your speech. If you would like to be on the next agenda, please.
so you let Ms. Stevens talk for what, a good 5 minutes or longer? And so I'm done because I'm a citizen. Thank you very much.
Yes, Ms. Lotus.
May I have a word with you in private after this?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And for anybody, I'm always available after the meeting if you have any questions. Yes, ma'am.
So on item 1 on the agenda for Constitution Week. I'll just speak up.
You know I can't hear you way over there. Thank you.
Okay, so item number 1 on the agenda is about Constitution Week, and we were asked to vigilantly protect the rightful liberties our Constitution guarantees us. This last Thursday at Meeks Park, our commissioner gave a speech to the Union County Democrat Party on the multi-commissioner board petition. I went to film that meeting as it was a subject of public interest and was my right as media. And the commissioner said that he would not speak if I was there filming. And he said that nobody there could record while he was giving this speech. I was given copies of.
Ms. Moore, this doesn't have anything to do with the agenda.
Oh, yes, sir, it does. We're talking about our constitutional rights.
Do you want to ask something about Constitution Week?
Yeah, let me finish, because that's my turn. So in this meeting, I received an audio, and he said that I was part of some group that came from Texas that he has no use for people like me in this community. He said that I'm against the children, against the roads, against the hospital, and lumped me into this group of people, but I have nothing to do with any of those things. From what I can understand, these are all things that different citizens are working on. That has nothing to do with me. He then lumped in the petitioners into that group. I'm almost there, if you'll just let me.
Ms. Moore.
So my question is.
Constitution Week.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'm talking about constitutional rights. And what I saw was that any of the citizens that I have seen stand up for their constitutional rights just got lumped into a group that the commissioner said he has no use for. So I'm wondering exactly, in what way are we permitted to diligently protect the rightful liberties that our Constitution guarantees us?
Well, ma'am, I don't know if the Democrat Party meeting is a official Union County government meeting. I'm sure the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, I know they're both active. There may be other parties that are active in Union County.
Excuse me, you're not speaking to my question.
I'm trying to answer your question. All right. Over everything else, I'm trying to let you speak first. Okay?
Oh.
Yeah, really I am.
You
I call on
interrupt me
you
a
and
lot of
everything
times.
else. But I'm not aware that the Democrat Party of Union County is like an official Union County board or a branch. So that would be a private thing, would it not?
It was at Meeks Park at a public place. But the question really is if we're going to be punished by being called that we're all part of some fictitious group, and then said that he has no use for people like us, when obviously Laurie and Marsha did a great job for us doing their vigilant duty. And I film, and we all do different things. We're not part of some group. This is crazy. But to say that he has no use for people like this in the community is very threatening and scary. And so I'm wondering if that's what happens to the citizens that do vigilantly defend our constitutional rights, then this is a very confusing proclamation.
I appreciate your statements, Ms. Moore, but I don't feel that I have not seen the commissioner be threatening to anyone to where they still didn't feel like yourself. I know you have problems, but you still come here, you still film, you still participate. No one kicks you out, no one not calls on you. You pointed out Ms. Brothers. I know she has her issues and everything else. Ms. Brothers always gets on the agenda. Ms. Brothers.
I'll have the audio up on the Voices of Union County channel this week, and you can see it. It was very threatening.
But you weren't threatened enough where you didn't show up here, correct?
I'm a citizen, and
Yes,
I will
ma'am.
do everything that I have to do to protect the citizens of this county. And if it means showing up, then I'll.
But I mean, my point is that you say the citizens are being threatened or whatever else, but you're still here. You weren't threatened enough where you've always
So
been.
it's
I've
okay?
seen you here every time I've never been here where I don't think I've not seen you here. I've never been here where I don't think I've seen Miss Loads here. Now, I have been here a couple times when Miss Brothers wasn't here, but she's typically a regular. I see other regulars on both sides that's here all the time. when you talk about politics and you talk about people having disagreements, just because people are gonna disagree, and that's definitely what they're gonna do in politics.
I work with
That-
children. He said that I'm against children. It's like very scary and weird. Why would that be going on simply because I show up at meetings and film?
Yeah, I mean, Ms. Moore, you have your problems, but
What does that
obviously
mean?
I don't feel that anyone is threatened enough where they don't still come to public meetings. And
So it's
if
okay
you were
to-
threatened that much, you wouldn't voice your opinions, which you always have been able to. You sit here and you voice your opinions, you go, oh, on Constitution Week, this is why the Lamar's banned. And we still let you say that. You
That's
still
so
get in there and say that.
strange.
It's
Okay.
not strange. I mean, it's my extrapolation of
No,
what you're
what I
stating is.
find is strange is that it's okay
All right,
for
well,
that
I'm
to
not
be
here to
said.
argue, but if you want to talk about it more after the meeting, I'm
Okay.
wonderful to. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? I know, Ms. Brothers, I know, but is it an actual question?
Yes, can you give me an update on the lawsuit of Garland?
I'll be happy to do that after the meeting, that's not on the agenda. Anyone have a question or comment about something that's on the agenda?
And just our freedom of speech is being suppressed.
No, ma'am, your freedom of speech has not been suppressed, at all.
Can't have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. People don't know.
If your
about
freedom
it.
of speech was suppressed, Ms. Brothers, you would never be allowed to come speak.
So why
And that's
these
the fact of the
people-
matter.
Why these people don't.
And that's the
know?
fact of the matter, you'd never be allowed to come speak if your freedom of speech was suppressed. Every single county in Georgia gets to make their own procedures for how the meetings are run. A lot of counties don't even allow people to participate.
So-
This county allows people to participate, this county allows people to ask questions, this county allows people that clearly don't like people that are officials to come voice their opinions, and even lets them on the agenda.
But then punishes them.
If you were punished, then you wouldn't be here. If you were punished, you wouldn't be here.
No, there are
You
very
say
many people in
punishment,
this
and
county.
punishment actually has a legal term, so.
Okay, malicious
Is it punishment
slander.
because someone says something that
It's
you don't like?
malicious slander. No, when there's vast amounts of people in this county that actually believe that I am against children and against the hospital and against the roads, like that's very
Yes,
strange.
please.
Can we move this to some other business besides county business, because it sounds like an argument instead of county business?
Yeah, it's gotten into an argument, but. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Oh, Ms. Beavers.
I just wanna-
say, oh, okay.
I just want to say thank you for the 2 appointments that were made tonight that are likely to improve mental health in the county.
Thank you for your help with mental health. Ms. Stevens, did you have?
No.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, going once, going twice. Everybody have a good evening. Ms. Brother?
Mr. Paris? Mr. Paris? Mr. Paris.
You would set on boards that needed to happen.
I'm here, I know her, I'm friends with her, but I'm not speaking.
They're recording.
Yeah, I was waiting for my lawyer to get back.
I don't know the facts about a board of commissioners.
I know about what we're doing.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're trying to do. I've got the detail of what you're planning. That's fine too.
Okay, hold on, we're being nice over here, is everybody being nice over here? Mr. Van D, we're being nice, y'all being nice.
We're being nice.
Does everybody be nice? Are you being nice?
Yes, I'm
Are you being nice?
But it's not accurate what you're saying.
To please, he knows that we're giving a position.
She doesn't want me to say anything negative about it.
Say nasty things about us.
Did you hear it?
I didn't, but there were people that were market.
You having a good night,
And
yeah?
I just asked him in a nice way to not I don't think that's what's
He said that they were getting signatures from just about anyone and anywhere, and they were telling them anything they have to, they were telling lies about it.
Some of you may be good people, but some are not. Some of you may be good people, but some are not.
Some of you may be good people, but some are not.
Have it audio recorded, you'll hear it
We
soon.
the people, this is what we
No,
want.
you're not we the people. You may be we your group.
We the people, this is what we
No,
want.
you're not we the people. You may be we your group.
Okay, hey, let's be nice. Let's be nice.
That's brothers.
Even ask him nice.
I'm gonna find a little